I lost my partner 2 years ago, so I've just a lot of changes in my life. If you're in a long-term relationship, then to start to learn to just be alone again. So I would say just learning, kind of rediscovering myself just by myself with my cat.
What's been the most challenging part of that process for you?
Well, at first, like for almost like 6 months, I did not sleep. It was so difficult when you're used to having another person in, just in the bed. Then to be all alone after so many years, sleeping was a big struggle for me. And now I'm doing okay now, but it's still, I think grief, it comes in waves. Like this summer, it had been more than a year, and I kept feeling like I'm not doing anything. I kept feeling like, oh, I'm not doing anything with my life, but I was. But it's just so different without Lee. It's very different, I wasn't being productive maybe in some ways. But then I would look at my schedule and I was. So it was it's inside of me. And I think it has to do with just now it being different, totally different after so many years.
Has it gotten lighter?
It comes and goes.
It comes and goes.
Comes and goes still. Yeah, even after 2 years. So.
Do the waves get shorter and shorter?
Shorter, yeah. Okay. And, sometimes it'll be just like 20 minutes of a wave of just feeling very low, very down, which that's different for me because normally I'm a happy person all the time.
Well, that must be that's something I don't understand. I've just heard it through people.
Right.
But such an interesting and deep part of life.
Yes.
It's interesting when you get into a partnership, whatever you want to call that. It's always one person that needs to go before the other.
Yes, always. Almost always.
Almost always, yes. But I don't know. It's just it's interesting. It's like who is more made for it out of the two?
Right. Right.
And I guess this question, is probably more proper to people that are probably a little older. But it's just an interesting thing to think about when I hear of people losing their other halves.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you think of... I don't know if it really... We all really are our own person. It's just... If you're very used to... Lee and I had somewhat of a working relationship also. So my thing was mostly movement and dance, and hers was music. So we did do some work together, which then that all intertwines the loss, not only the personal relationship, but then also the work relationship. Now I have to find different venues for that too. I feel grateful for my life.
I was going to say that you seem very grateful.
Even the things that maybe were painful have brought me to this point where I am. So I think every person, every experience we have, even if it's not good at the time, I think we learn from it, hopefully, and try not to repeat bad things. And just the thing about living, I'm trying to live more simply now too. Like I have a couple of houses, and that's too much to have. Like I'm really ready to try to scale my life down because we don't need so much really to have too much stuff. Yeah. Not everyone, but a lot of people have too much stuff. Yes. I have too much stuff. It's a hassle. There's so much wrong in the world, and I feel like so many people have gotten, myself included, so tired of it that I know the last year I'm not tuning in to the news so much. I'm backing off. And the whole internet stuff, the same with that. I just think there's just too much. But if everyone starts to feel that, that's very bad, because more and more bad things are happening because we're not all involved enough in the political process. I think that's worrisome.
So you're saying that if you could be a little more, like, you're saying that people that live their regular life, they could be more involved in the political process in order to change the world going forward.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think we're not doing enough.
No,
Yeah.
and I think we've maybe already passed the tipping point of it's not, people are so tuned out. I don't know. I think a lot of things are broken, and I don't know how it's going to resolve itself. And I know there are millions of people all over the world who feel the same way.
Yes.
And if all those people could somehow come together, then yes, change could happen. But unless a huge group of people manage to coalesce and come together against some of the things that are happening, the people in power, it just will continue.
And you're saying that because you're saying you backed off the news, you backed off the internet, and you're doing
because
you. And that feels better?
Well, it feels better to me because I'm not paying attention as much.
Is that?
And then it's not upsetting because I'm not as focused on it. But then you see things and you're just like, oh my God, like the children and everything that's happening right now in Israel, and you know, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Right. Do you think that is doing its part? Like, you backing off the news, backing off the internet, not consuming this stuff, do you think that's doing a service or disservice?
Maybe, well,
on a world scale.
On a world scale, if everybody backs off, it's not good. But just consuming all this stuff doesn't help either, because people have to rise up and do something.
Right.
You know,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I kind of see it the other way, actually. I see it that it is more of service to the world by backing off.
By back off.
I'm not saying to stay ignorant to it, but by not consuming it and going forward in a way that feels true to you,
right,
with your immediate surroundings, because that's all we can touch, feels like the way forward. Yeah,
because I mean, I think we all, like here right now, it feels happy, calm, good, peaceful. We're all fine. And maybe if everybody in the world could do that, but the people who are having horrible things happen, they don't have a choice.
Right.
You know, they're in it. We're not in it.
We're not in it.
We're not in it.
Yeah.
But we could be. And then, you know, then I don't know. I mean, I guess our world is our world.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Okay.